Hello everybody, Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. We got over 1,100 of these available for your listening pleasure, and we continue to do the best we can to add as we go into 2022 and beyond. If you're looking for coaching, life, relationship, business, habit change, all that good stuff, would love to be of assistance to you in that way. And the couple ways you can get in contact with me at PO Perception on Twitter and or in the About Me section of this YouTube page. Either one will get you in contact with me and make something happen for your benefit there. So the first thing is kind of looking at emotional blackmail, the stages of it. And the stages of emotional blackmail can be kind of overwhelming for people to deal with in a number of ways. The first is the demand. Obviously, if someone is putting pressure on you to make a decision, to be connected with a decision in that way, it can be super overwhelming for a number of reasons. Obviously, you don't want to let the person down, especially if you have a long-term relationship with them. And the demand often becomes one of those things where you feel guilt, you feel shame, you feel frustration that they're placing this upon you. But if you have a relationship with them, you also think that it might be your responsibility to make their life easier. You also think it might be your responsibility to help them out because you care for them, love them, or have a relationship with them. The next thing is you resist because you may not feel comfortable with what they're asking you to do. You may not feel comfortable with the request that they're putting before you. You may not have the time. You may not have the money. You may not have the energy. You may not have the focus. You may not be willing to do. You may not agree with what they're asking you to do. This can especially come up in emotional relationships of cutting someone off or performing sexual favors in a way that's uncomfortable or any other number of things. So you resist. And then they start to put pressure on you, letting it be known that you are, you owe them, or that they know things about you that could be damaging to you, or that you are somehow negatively impacted by not complying with them. This gives way into threats, and obviously the threats become a wider thing and become a more damaging thing over time, especially if the threats are continual and if the threats are valid. So a valid threat is something that would actually sooner or later catch up with you and have a negative impact should they follow through on the threat. Lots of threats are empty, but an open threat or a non-empty threat, that is a threat that does have at least some chance of being negative, can be super overwhelming and a lot of trouble for a person to continue and kind of get through and connect with in a deeper way. So hopefully this is and can be super challenging and damaging and somewhat overwhelming for a number of reasons. So then we begin to go into compliance. Now the compliance could be under duress or not under duress. So an under duress compliance is when a person is saying, I don't agree with doing this, but I don't feel I have a choice. And then silent compliance is, you know what, if I try and fight you, you're going to ask me to do something else. And that's the bigger problem with blackmail, is that sooner or later a person, if they know you will give in to blackmail, is more likely to make further requests of you, make further, continual requests, and ultimately lead you in a direction that isn't good, in a direction that isn't healthy, in a direction that isn't useful, and ultimately lead you to a level that doesn't get you where you want to be. And so when we begin to understand the value of learning not to do that, when we begin to understand the value of learning how to just kind of see things from a new light, see things in a different way, understanding how to not connect in that manner, we then begin to have a really negative view on what it is we need or want out of a situation. So hopefully if you're going through this, you get some assistance from an outside source. Many times going for help with something like a blackmail situation can be super negative and ultimately can lead you in a direction that doesn't necessarily have positive consequence in a long run there. Anyway, so until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind on the moment. Until next time, everybody.